Chosen one. You didn't find this video, it found you. In a timeline you can't remember choosing, something ancient inside you whispered, and you followed it here. Maybe you don't even know why you clicked, but your soul does. You've felt it building for weeks now, that strange pull, that restless energy in your chest like a silent countdown ticking towards something unseen. It's August 2025, and you feel it in your bones. This month is not ordinary. You are not ordinary. And this moment is not random. You've walked through years that didn't make sense. Seasons of silence where prayers felt like echoes and time bent but brought no answers. You've questioned the purpose behind your pain, the meaning behind the isolation, the reason why everyone else seemed to move forward while you stood still, watching, waiting, sensing. You've tried to convince yourself that maybe you were wrong, maybe the signs were just your imagination, maybe the divine calling you once heard had moved on without you. But then, out of nowhere, something rises again. A flicker, a whisper, a knowing, something sacred in your spirit that refuses to die. Because the truth is, you were never forgotten. You were being hidden, held, refined in a furnace no one else could see. The silence was not a punishment, it was preparation. And now it is time. There's a sacred urgency in the air. Can you feel it? You're not the only one waking up. All over the world, the first wave of chosen ones is stirring. Souls like yours, who have carried heavy things in secret and light in their bones. And this call is not coming from a screen. It's coming from the inside out, the part of you that remembers what the world made you forget. Now I'll ask you something serious. You have a choice right now. You can click away, go back to the noise, the scrolling, the distraction, and lose the clarity your soul's been crying for. Or you can stay until the end. Stay, and receive the words that were meant to confirm what your spirit already knows. And if you do, you'll walk away lighter, stronger, remembering. If anything inside you feels seen right now, comment 111 or 777 below. Mark this moment with intention. Let the universe know you're listening. You see, this isn't just another message. This is sacred timing. And it's not just about watching, it's about answering. The pull you feel is your confirmation. The ache you've tried to ignore, that's the alarm bell of your divine remembrance. Maybe you've always felt different, sensitive, misunderstood. Maybe you were the one who saw too much, felt too deeply, asked questions no one wanted to answer. And maybe you've spent your life wondering why you couldn't just fit in. But I'm here to tell you, chosen one, your difference was never a flaw. It was your seal, your signature, the mark that you were born for something more. The world doesn't honor people like you, not at first. It exiles the ones it later needs. But August is a shift, a spiritual inflection point, and those who've been exiled are being recalled. You are not late, you are not broken. You are being aligned with the divine moment your soul signed up for. Take a breath and let that land. The pain was not pointless. The waiting was not wasted. The detours were divine. You didn't miss your destiny. You've been becoming it, quietly, silently, faithfully, even when no one saw, even when you almost gave up, even when you forgot how to believe. This space you've entered isn't just another video, it's a soul checkpoint, a temple disguised as a message. So if you feel the resonance, if you feel your chest lifting, your breath deepening, your eyes warming, stay. Subscribe and hit the bell icon right now so you never miss what was meant for you. This isn't just a channel, it's a resting place for your spirit, a sanctuary for your sacred return, because something is coming. And if you felt the heaviness lately, if you've noticed the signs, the repeating numbers, the strange dreams, the closing of doors, the quiet hum in your bones, it's because you're on the edge of revelation. You're about to remember what you were created for, So don't scroll away. Don't silence what's waking up inside you. Breathe. Let your soul feel seen. Because everything you've walked through has led to this moment. The divine doesn't waste pain. It harvests it into power. Stay with me now. What comes next will change how you see everything. There's a whisper that's been following you for years, not with sound, but with sensation. It's subtle, yet persistent, like a soft knock on the walls of your soul, asking, "Are you ready yet?" It comes in the quiet moments, the ones you can't explain. When the room is silent, but something inside you is shouting for more. When the world praises what you don't care about, and you feel like you're watching life through a glass you can't break. That whisper isn't fantasy. It's the voice of your sacred self trying to wake you. You see, most people spend their lives running from discomfort. But you've been walking straight through it. That restlessness in your chest, the confusion in your gut, the deep unease that doesn't go away, it isn't weakness. It's your soul resisting a life that's too small for it. It's your spiritual DNA cracking open. Because when a chosen one is about to awaken, the first sign is disruption. A divine discontent that shakes everything you thought was solid. Think back. How long have you been feeling like something was off, but couldn't name it? How many times have you smiled in rooms that made you feel empty? How often have you sensed something was missing, not on the outside, but within? That's the whisper. That's the call. And it doesn't leave because it's not allowed to. Your soul signed a contract before this lifetime. You agreed to awaken, to lead, to remember. And even if you've forgotten for a while, the agreement never expired. The whisper is your reminder. It speaks through what others call coincidence, through patterns, through number sequences, 111, 444, 777, through recurring dreams, synchronicities, the tug in your chest when you walk into certain places. It speaks through loss, through endings you didn't ask for. It hides inside the moments that make no sense to your mind but pierce your heart. That ache when you look at the sky and suddenly feel homesick for somewhere you can't name. That's it too. The whisper comes in many forms, but it always points in the same direction, inward. You've tried to silence it before, tried to fill it with distractions, relationships, work, even spiritual routines. But nothing quiets it, does it? That's because this isn't something outside of you calling. It's something inside of you rising. And the more you resist it, the louder it becomes. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. Your soul is awakening from a deep slumber, and it refuses to go back to sleep. The world doesn't prepare us for this. It teaches us how to function, not how to feel. It teaches us how to survive, not how to listen. But chosen ones don't fit into those teachings. You were never meant to. You've always been the exception, the question mark, the one who saw too much and felt too deeply. And while others may have dismissed that about you, the divine has been waiting for the day you'd begin to understand the power in it. This awakening isn't sudden. It's layered. It starts with little questions like, why am I here? Or why does this not feel real anymore? It escalates into bigger ones like, what if everything I was told to chase was a distraction? And eventually, it drops you into the void. The spiritual pause where nothing makes sense, and yet you know you're closer to truth than ever before. That's where you are now, isn't it? If you've been sensing something stirring, if you've been hearing a voice you can't explain, if you've been craving solitude, feeling emotional without cause, if time feels strange and people feel foreign, it's because your spirit is rising. And that whisper? It's about to become a roar, not to the world, but to you. A divine reminder that this life is not random, that your presence here is not an accident, that the moment you're in is holy. You don't have to have the answers yet. You only need to say yes. Yes to listening deeper. Yes to following that invisible thread pulling you forward. Yes to honoring what feels real, even if no one else understands. That yes will change everything. Because when the chosen one says yes, the universe rearranges itself to reflect it. Doors you couldn't open before will swing wide. People you needed to meet will appear. And most of all, the fog in your chest will start to lift. This is your permission to believe what you've always known deep down. You're not imagining the shift. You're not too sensitive. You're not too late. You're being activated. August 2025 is not the beginning. It's the unveiling. Everything that has whispered to you until now is about to become visible. The patterns will make sense. The pieces will fit. But only if you stop doubting the voice within. So breathe. Place your hand over your heart. Listen. The whisper is still there, but it's getting louder. You are awakening, not just spiritually, but soulfully. And once your soul begins to rise, nothing in your life will ever stay the same. The question isn't whether you're hearing it. The question is, will you finally trust it? From the very beginning, you knew you didn't belong in the same way others did. Not because you were broken, but because you were built for something different. You felt too much, saw too much, carried questions no one else seemed to ask. As a child, you noticed the invisible things, the tension behind someone's smile, the sadness hidden in someone's voice, the way energy shifted in a room before anyone said a word. And while others chased noise, you were drawn to silence. While others looked for approval, you searched for meaning. Even then, you were already awake in a world that wanted you asleep. You may not have had the language for it back then, but your soul already knew. You weren't like the others. While they ran toward what sparkled, you stood still in wonder at what was unseen. While they were praised for fitting in, you were questioned for standing apart. And slowly, quietly, the world began teaching you to doubt the very gifts that made you sacred. Too sensitive, too quiet, too intense, too emotional. You heard it all, not as feedback but as instructions to bury your truth, and so you did. Not because you wanted to, but because you needed to survive. But no matter how deep you buried your light, it kept flickering. No matter how well you tried to blend in, something about you always stood out. The people around you sensed it. They couldn't explain it, but they felt it. And because they didn't understand it, some rejected it, some mocked it, some tried to control it. But deep down, you knew it wasn't them who were seeing too much. It was you. You saw beneath the masks. You felt the pain others ignored. You carried truth in a world that clung to illusion. You weren't born to be accepted. You were born to awaken others. And because of that, your path was never going to look like theirs. Your story wasn't going to follow the same rhythm. While others climbed ladders, you walked deserts. While others chased goals, you searched for God in the silence. You didn't come here to conform, you came to remember, and that remembering has cost you everything that wasn't real. Relationships, roles, identities, and most of all, the illusion of being understood by the masses. But chosen one, that price was holy. You've been stripped of the false so you could carry the sacred. Take a breath and let that settle. The moments where you felt most broken were not your undoing, they were your unveiling. They were the quiet return to your essence. Go back in your memory. Recall the first time you felt the presence of something greater. Not in church, not in a temple, but in the ordinary. In a field, under the stars, while listening to a song that no one else paid attention to. That presence never left you, even when you turned away, even when life tried to harden you, even when the world made you forget. It waited, and now, in this moment, it's rising again. There's a reason you're still here, still listening, still seeking. It's because the child you once were still lives inside you, still believing, still reaching toward the light, with a faith that nothing could kill. And it's time to stop silencing that child. It's time to stop apologizing for being different. Because different is divine. You were never meant to be digestible. You were meant to be undeniable. And the ache you feel now, in this very season, it's your soul reclaiming its voice. The confusion, the sensitivity, the dreams, the inner resistance to everything fake. These are not signs of weakness. They're signs of awakening, of remembering, of returning. Let the world call you strange. Let it say you're difficult to understand. It's not your job to shrink so others feel comfortable. It's your job to shine so they remember they can rise too. Because someone has to be the one who doesn't look away. Someone has to be the one who feels deeply, who tells the truth, who refuses to settle. Someone has to be the one who hears the whisper and answers. That someone is you. You were never like the others. And that is your power. There is a shadow that follows many chosen ones, not the shadow of failure, but the shadow of delay. The haunting question, did I miss it? Did I take too long? Is it too late for me now? You've asked these in the quiet of your mind, when no one was around to hear the ache in your voice, when another birthday passed, when a door you prayed for never opened, when others seemed to soar while you remained still. The fear doesn't scream, it whispers, and it whispers the lie that maybe you've wasted too much time. But chosen one, let me tell you something the world will never admit. What looks like delay to the mind is often sacred timing to the soul. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment has been waiting for you to become the version of yourself that could carry it. You see, the divine doesn't rush masterpieces. It does not measure time like the world does. The divine does not keep score the way your ego does. The unfolding of your purpose isn't a race, it's a remembering. And every detour, every heartbreak, every still season you mistook for failure was actually an invisible fire forging your soul into something unshakable. Carl Jung once said, "We cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning. You weren't meant to bloom with the rest. You were meant to deepen, to descend, to grow roots so wide they could hold galaxies of wisdom. While others climbed ladders, you were learning to carry light in the dark. While others sprinted forward, you were learning how to stand still and listen, not to the world, but to the voice within. That still, sacred voice that doesn't speak in urgency, but in knowing. The world tells you that success has an age limit, that your value peaks in your youth, but the truth is, your real purpose couldn't begin until your illusions were broken, until your heart was cracked open, until your strength was tested and your soul made sovereign. You didn't waste those years. You surrendered them. You gave them to the fire. You offered them to silence. You let the divine remold you into someone who could hold a truth too holy for shallow hands. So no, you haven't missed it. You were being prepared for it. Maybe you've spent decades pouring into others, hiding your gifts behind humility, waiting for permission that never came. Maybe you traded your intuition for approval, your magic for logic, your calling for comfort. But here's the secret. They couldn't see it because it wasn't for them. It was being saved, protected, until now, until this version of you. The one who has felt grief and still gives love. The one who has fallen and still gets back up. The one who no longer seeks the spotlight, but carries a light within that cannot be put out. You are not behind. You are right on time. Chosen one, you were never meant to peak early. You were meant to rise when the world needed your voice the most, when your words could heal, when your presence could guide, when your eyes could look at another lost soul and say, I know what it's like. Let me walk with you. The time you thought was wasted is the very time that made you ready. Do you feel it now? The shift. The sacred click in the air that tells you everything is about to change. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation that your soul's schedule was never aligned with the world's, that divine timing doesn't obey earthly clocks, that the you who's standing here today is the you that destiny was waiting for. So take a breath. Let the shame of delay fall off your shoulders. Let the guilt of not being there yet melt into the knowing that here was always the destination. This moment, this awakening, this remembrance of who you truly are and why you came. You are not late. You are legendary. There is a kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels hollow, empty, like standing in the middle of a vast desert with no sign, no sound, no direction. You know this silence. You've lived in it. You've screamed into it. You've waited for answers that didn't come, cried prayers that never echoed back. This wasn't just the absence of noise, it was the absence of everything. And yet, somehow, you survived it. You're still here. And that alone makes you holy. This silence wasn't a mistake. It was a strategy. You see, when the divine prepares a soul for something eternal, it first takes away everything temporary, everything loud, everything that distracts and drowns out the voice of the deeper truth. And so you were pulled away from people, from plans, from identities that once made sense. At the time, it felt like abandonment. But now, you're beginning to understand. You weren't being abandoned. You were being rebuilt. Like a seed buried underground, the darkness came first. Like a caterpillar sealed in the cocoon, the silence was the womb. A place of disassembly, of dissolving, of sacred undoing. You weren't falling apart. You were falling inward, into truth, into remembrance, into the version of you that doesn't need applause to believe in your worth, doesn't need a map to trust your path, doesn't need constant confirmation to know you're called. Most people run from silence. They fill it with noise, with movement, with people, with opinions. But not you. You were forced to face it, sit with it, sleep beside it. And though it nearly broke you, it also carved you into someone deeper, stronger, wiser, someone who doesn't just speak truth, but embodies it, someone who has become a sanctuary for others because you've first become a sanctuary for yourself. Think back, the relationships that ended, the jobs that slipped away, the places you once loved that started to feel foreign. It all had a purpose. Life was stripping away the layers that no longer fit the shape of your soul. And yes, it hurt. It tore through your illusions, but it also freed you. The friends who left, the seasons that dried up, the dreams that crumbled, they weren't punishments, they were signals that your spirit was outgrowing the containers it once fit in, that your time of hiding was coming to an end. In this silence, you learned how to hear what others miss, the voice of your body, the shift in your breath, the whisper of your intuition. You learned to follow signs no one else could see. You learned to trust a compass that didn't point north, but home. And most of all, you learned how to be alone without being empty, how to be still without being lost, how to be unseen and still worthy. What you thought was divine distance was actually divine devotion. The universe holding you in a quiet room while it rearranged everything around you. Doors weren't closed forever. They were waiting for you to become the one who could walk through them. What looked like delay was design. And the silence that nearly shattered you is the very silence that made you sacred. So now, when things fall away, you don't panic. When you're called into solitude, you don't resist. You know the pattern. You recognize the rhythm. You've been in this place before, and you know what comes next. Transformation, realignment, a spiritual rebirth that leaves you glowing from the inside out. Chosen one, if you're in a silent season again, don't fear it. Breathe into it. Listen. There's wisdom here that noise can't carry. There's growth here that movement can't offer. There's a calling being prepared in the quiet that will soon thunder into your life in ways you can't yet imagine. Rest in this stillness. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And what's waiting on the other side will require the depth you only gain in silence. There is a unique kind of pain reserved for those who are chosen. It's not physical. It's not even always visible. It's the ache of being misunderstood, misread, misjudged, over and over again. You've felt it. You've spoken truth gently, only to be called intense. You've set boundaries out of love, only to be called selfish. You've shared your heart vulnerably, only to be told you're too emotional, too sensitive, too much. And so, little by little, you began to retreat, not out of weakness, but because the world had no language for the depth you carried. There is something in you that unnerves others, not because it's dark, but because it's bright. You reflect things they aren't ready to see. You trigger awakenings they didn't ask for. Without meaning to, you shine a light into places they've kept hidden. And so they reject you, not because they truly hate you, but because your presence asks them to wake up before they're ready. This is the burden of the chosen one, to be a living mirror, even when you're just trying to be yourself. You've walked into rooms and felt eyes on you, not out of admiration but unease. You've felt the shift in energy when you enter. You've felt friendships slowly pull away without reason. You've been left out of circles, conversations, even family gatherings, not because of anything you did, but because of what you carry. People sense your knowing, your depth, your awareness, and even if they can't name it, it stirs something in them. A discomfort, a resistance, a silent jealousy, because something in you feels ancient and something in them feels unready. The world teaches people to follow, to please, to blend in, but you came here to remember, to lead, to walk alone if you must, and that path is lonely. It costs you the comfort of being understood, but what you gain is worth more than acceptance. You gain truth, and truth, chosen one, is never popular at first. You've had to endure being the black sheep, the scapegoat, the one who sees the storm coming before anyone else even notices the clouds. You've warned people out of love, and they called you negative. You've seen behind their masks, and they called you paranoid. You've stood up for what felt sacred, and they called you dramatic. And every time it happened, a piece of your heart cracked, not because you were weak, but because you were human. But let me tell you something you may have never heard before. You are not too much. You are a message, a frequency, a vibration that is rare. And because of that, many cannot meet you. Many cannot hold space for you. But that is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their readiness. You've been misunderstood because you were ahead of your time. You felt alone because you were never meant to walk the crowded road. You've been rejected because what's in you is holy, and the world is still waking up to what holy even means, so you've learned to speak less, to observe more, to carry your knowing in silence. But I want you to hear this clearly now. Just because they couldn't receive you doesn't mean your light was wrong. The truth you carry is still truth. The vision you have is still valid. The depth in your heart is still divine. There is a cost to being chosen, and one of the highest costs is invisibility. Not because you have nothing to offer, but because the people around you were never meant to see you clearly. They were only meant to remember you when the time was right. And chosen one, that time is near. The ones who mocked you will one day replay your words. The ones who left you will one day retrace your steps. The ones who doubted you will one day need your light. But by then, you will not need their validation. You will have become the version of yourself who finally sees your own worth, even if no one else ever does. This pain you carry, it's proof you've walked the narrow path. It's evidence that your spirit wouldn't let you numb yourself to fit in. You still feel, you still love, you still speak truth. And that, in a world so afraid of truth, makes you dangerous in the most beautiful, healing way. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be remembered by the few who were waiting to wake up through your presence. Don't dim yourself now. You've come too far. And the silence that once hurt you is about to become the platform that carries your voice. There's something inside you that's always known, even when your mind doubted it, even when your past betrayed it, even when the world trained you to silence it. That soft hum, that inner pull, that flash of knowing you couldn't explain but couldn't ignore. You've felt it in dreams, in chills, in sudden emotions that didn't belong to the moment. You've walked into rooms and felt the truth before a word was spoken. You've sensed things before they happened. You've known what you weren't supposed to know, and you've questioned yourself endlessly for it. But it's time now to stop questioning. It's time to start trusting. That is your compass, the one they told you to ignore, the one they conditioned you to doubt, the one that has been quietly guiding you through every detour, every delay, every redirection that didn't make sense until now. Chosen one. You weren't meant to live by logic alone. You were meant to walk in wisdom that the world cannot teach. The language of your soul is not spreadsheets and timelines. It is energy, frequency, intuition. And the reason you've always felt off when following what others called the right path is because that path wasn't calibrated to your design. You're not wired to follow. You're wired to feel and to lead others who are just beginning to remember that feeling is a form of truth too. You've forgotten how sacred your sensitivity is, how your dreams have messages, how your emotions are messengers, how your body carries memories that your mind can't translate. You've been taught to override, to suppress, to stay logical, to explain everything. But the deepest truths don't need to be explained. They need to be honored. That nudge in your chest that told you to walk away, that ache in your stomach that warned you, that warmth in your body when you were in the right place. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. You just haven't been taught how to listen. Let me remind you, your body is a compass. Your heart is an oracle. Your soul is a map. And though the path ahead may not make sense on paper, it makes perfect sense to the part of you that still remembers where you came from and why you're here. That part doesn't need validation. It only needs space. It only needs silence. And it only needs your trust. So breathe with me now. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the rhythm that's been with you since the beginning. Beneath the fear, beneath the noise, beneath the doubt, there's still a pulse. A knowing, a yes that hasn't been silenced, just buried. And the moment you begin to trust that yes again, life begins to move differently. The fog starts to clear. The confusion starts to fade. The people who drain you begin to fall away. And in their place, something new begins to rise. Clarity, alignment, divine rhythm, synchronicity. The path of the chosen one is not lit by street lamps. It's lit by sparks, glimmers, intuitive hits that feel irrational to others but feel like home to you. And when you begin to follow them, you stop chasing what isn't yours. You stop apologizing for what you feel. You stop needing evidence to obey your inner wisdom. You realize that the thread you've been following through the dark wasn't random. It was divine. And it's been leading you back to yourself all along. This world doesn't need more noise. It needs more souls who can hear in the silence, souls like yours, who can feel what others ignore, who can sense what others suppress, who can trust what cannot be explained. That is your gift, and it's time to stop hiding it. It's time to stop second-guessing the way you receive truth. You weren't meant to be skeptical. You were meant to be sacred. Start small. Trust what lights you up. Trust what softens you. Trust what energizes your spirit and calms your nervous system. If something makes you feel contracted, pay attention. If something makes you feel alive again, follow it. Let that be your yes. Let your peace be your permission slip. Let your body be the guide you were never taught to honor. Because that compass in your chest, it's more accurate than anything this world could offer, and it will never lead you where your soul doesn't belong. The most powerful version of you is not the one who knows everything. It's the one who trusts themselves anyway, even in the mystery, even in the dark, even when there's no applause. Because that version of you is no longer chasing alignment. You are alignment. You've become the very thing you were seeking. Chosen one, trust the thread in the dark. Trust the signs that keep repeating. Trust the knowing you feel when your eyes are closed and the world is quiet. Trust the compass in your chest. It remembers the way home. Something has shifted and you can feel it, not in your mind, but in your bones, in your breath, in the rhythm of your days. You're not imagining it. What you're feeling is real. A spiritual recall has begun. The first wave of chosen ones is being summoned, not with noise or spectacle, but with silence that speaks directly to your soul. You've been walking through your life sensing something unnameable drawing closer, like the tide pulling back before a divine wave returns, like something ancient reaching for you through the fabric of time. This is not a season of waiting anymore. This is the beginning of your sacred return. You're not the same person you were even a few months ago. Things that used to anchor you have started to slip away. People who once felt like home now feel distant, misaligned, foreign. Environments you used to thrive in now feel small and heavy. It's not because you're broken, it's because your contract in those spaces has been fulfilled. Your soul is quietly packing its bags, preparing for what comes next. And even though you can't see the full picture yet, you know it's happening. Something is closing. Something is ending. And not because you failed, but because you've finished. This is the part of awakening that no one talks about. The quiet goodbyes, the grief that comes without death, the shedding of identities, routines, titles, and relationships that no longer match who you're becoming. It's not dramatic. It's not chaotic. It's subtle, still, like a gate opening in the sky, like a soft hand on your shoulder, turning you gently toward a new direction. And deep down, you know you can't stay where you've been, because where you are now was only meant to hold you until this moment arrived. You've always known there would be a point of departure, a time when what once gave you comfort would no longer feel like home. A time when your inner world would outgrow your outer world. That time is now. Your soul is being called forward. And it's okay to feel the sadness in that. It's okay to cry over what you're leaving, even if it doesn't make sense to others. Not every ending is a failure. Some endings are sacred. Some exits are holy. You may not have the map, but you have the message. That feeling in your chest, that subtle inner shift, that quiet sense of something being over before anything actually changes on the outside. That's the recall. That's the sign. You are not being abandoned. You are being released. Released from cycles that have served their purpose. Released from lessons you've already learned. Released from energies that no longer resonate with your vibration. It's okay if you don't know where you're going next. The recall doesn't require a destination, it only requires obedience to the knowing. And you have that. You always have. Even when you doubted yourself, even when you second-guessed your path, there was still something inside you that never stopped listening, something that always remembered that you were here for more than survival, more than fitting in, more than playing small to make others comfortable. This isn't the kind of awakening that shouts, it whispers, it nudges, it removes one thing at a time, until suddenly you find yourself lighter, freer, more sensitive to what's real. You look around and realize that the life you built no longer fits the soul you've become, and it's not wrong, it's just time. Time to go, time to release, time to step forward into the unknown and trust that your spirit knows the way. Chosen one, the spiritual recall is not for everyone. Not everyone hears it. Not everyone feels it. But you do. That's how you know you're being chosen again. Not just in theory, but in movement. The universe is rearranging itself for you. Doors are closing not to punish you, but to protect you. Paths are fading not because you failed, but because you've already walked them to completion. And now, you're being invited to cross over, from old into new, from stuck into sent, from questioning into clarity. You're not meant to cling to what's crumbling. You're meant to bless it, grieve it, and then let it go. Because what's waiting for you cannot be reached by holding on to what no longer aligns. The recall is asking for your trust now, not because you've seen what's ahead, but because you know you can't stay behind. You'll know this season by its clarity, by how quickly things fall away, by how suddenly you find peace in the letting go, by how deeply your spirit exhales when you stop forcing what no longer fits. This isn't destruction. This is ascension, a divine closing ceremony for everything that once served you but no longer holds you. The contract is complete. The gate is open. The call has gone out, and you have been chosen to respond. There will come a moment when the same people who ignored your presence will begin to notice your absence. The ones who doubted your value, who questioned your depth, who rolled their eyes at your inner knowing, they will begin to search for you. But by then, they won't be looking for the you they left behind. That version of you no longer exists. The caterpillar they abandoned has become something they cannot hold. The butterfly they cannot catch. You won't be where they left you, and they won't know how to follow. Chosen one, you've spent years being overlooked, misread, dismissed. You showed up for people who never noticed the weight you carried just to keep smiling. You gave compassion where you received silence. You offered wisdom that was met with mockery. You poured from a sacred well while others treated it like tap water. And still, you stayed. You tried. You hoped. You waited. But something in you has shifted. Something in you has risen. You no longer need to prove your worth to people who were never meant to recognize it. You no longer seek permission to shine. You no longer feel responsible for staying small to make others feel comfortable. That old version of you, the one who over-explained, over-gave, over-apologized, that version was a bridge, not a destination, a necessary part of the path, but not the final form. And now, that form is dissolving. You see, the transformation didn't happen with fireworks. It happened quietly, in the solitude, in the nights where no one checked in the days you held your own heart through disappointment. You were being reconstructed in the silence, made unreachable by those who only ever reached for what they could consume. And now that your light no longer burns to keep others warm, they don't know how to approach you. They don't recognize this version of you, this grounded, glowing, sovereign soul who doesn't chase, doesn't explain, doesn't beg to be seen. When they come looking, they'll find an echo, a memory, a vibration that no longer lives in their world. You will have risen above the frequency where they once had access to you, and it will confuse them, it will shake them, not because you were cruel, but because they never imagined a day when you would stop waiting for them to change. A day when you would stop dimming, stop rescuing, stop returning to places where your soul was starving. There is a grief in this, yes, but it's not the grief of loss. It's the grief of outgrowing, of realizing you can love someone and still leave, that you can forgive someone and still walk away, that you can see the divine in someone and still know they are not meant to walk the next part of your path. And that's not cruelty, that's clarity. That's honoring the truth your spirit can no longer unsee. This is what happens when a chosen one answers the call. You stop being available to anything misaligned. Your energy becomes more expensive. Your peace becomes non-negotiable. Your presence becomes a portal, and not everyone is ready to enter. And so, yes, they'll look for you in the places you used to go, in the roles you used to play, in the version of you that used to tolerate what you've now transcended. But they won't find you because you have become the message. Your absence has become the answer. Your silence has become the sermon. You are no longer the echo. You are the thunder. And those who took your presence for granted will learn that access to a chosen one is not promised forever. It is a divine privilege, a temporary grace. And when it is gone, it cannot be faked, replicated, or replaced. You don't need revenge. You don't need recognition. You only need to rise, quietly, powerfully. And when they finally realize what they lost, they'll do what they always do. Look around for someone to blame. but you won't be there, not because you hate them, but because you finally love you. You've done enough. You've given enough. You've waited long enough. And now it's time. Time to step into the frequency of your future without dragging the past behind you. Time to bless the doorways you once begged to enter and walk away knowing you no longer need what you once thought you couldn't live without. Chosen one, let them look. Let them wonder. Let them feel the absence they created. You don't owe explanations for your evolution. You don't owe softness to the hands that bruised you. What you owe is your loyalty to the truth. And the truth is, you are being elevated beyond the reach of those who only ever saw you through the lens of their own limitation. The journey ahead doesn't require you to look back. You are not what they remember. You are what they could never imagine. So walk forward, in peace, in power, in purpose. They'll look for you, and you'll be gone. It's time, chosen one. Time to remember. Time to rise. Time to reclaim what this world tried to bury beneath delay, beneath distraction, beneath doubt. The signs around you are not random. The silence you've been moving through wasn't failure. It was divine formation. The sleepless nights, the lost years, the doors that slammed in your face, all of it was allowed. Not to destroy you, but to strip away everything that wasn't truly yours. So that what remains now is pure, sacred, ready. You've been waiting for the right moment, haven't you? Waiting for confirmation, for something to tell you that you're not crazy, not late, not lost. Let this be that moment. Let these words be the echo of what your soul already knows. You were never meant to walk the path of the masses. You were always meant to walk with God's wind behind your back, even when it looked like you were walking alone. You have not missed your calling. You are the calling. Take a breath right now and feel the truth settle in your chest. You've carried so much pain, so much silence, so much weight in secret. But you've also carried light. You've carried a song that never stopped singing, even when no one else heard it. You've carried memory of who you are, of where you came from, of the fire you agreed to walk through so you could return to this moment, fully awake. There's a reason your life never fit into the boxes others built. A reason you always questioned, always felt the crack in the curtain, always knew something more was happening behind the scenes. That knowing wasn't arrogance, it was assignment. And now the world is catching up to what your spirit has seen all along. The awakening is not coming. It's here, and you are part of it. The silence was your training, the confusion was your classroom, the tears were your consecration, and now the veil is lifting. The timeline is aligning, the weight you've carried is turning into wisdom. The rejection you endured is turning into redirection. Everything is beginning to make sense in a language that only your soul can hear. And it's okay if no one else understands. They weren't meant to. This was never about them. This was about you, becoming the one you were always meant to be. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to remember. Remember that the voice inside you is not wrong. Remember that your sensitivity is not weakness, it's sight. Remember that you didn't survive everything you did just to shrink when the moment arrived. You were hidden for a reason. You were prepared for a purpose. And now, you are being released into that purpose. So rise now, not with noise, but with clarity, with calm, with deep knowing that you have nothing to prove and everything to reclaim. Speak less, align more, listen closely, walk in softness, carry fire. You are the shift, you are the sign, you are the one someone else is praying to meet. Let that be enough. And if you feel it, if something inside you is sparking, expanding, finally breathing again, comment 1, 1, 1, 1 or 3, 3, 3 below. Let the universe see you speak. Let this be your signpost, your altar, your yes. This isn't just the end of a video. It's the beginning of your return. And if your soul needs space to rest, subscribe now. Tap the bell. Let this place be your sanctuary in a world that's forgotten how to be still. Because whenever the world gets too heavy, this space is here. Come back. Rest your soul. You are not alone anymore. Stay close, chosen one. What's coming is holy, and you were made for it.